Everybody, just got back from a client meeting, and I got a question from a viewer about sponsor audits, and I'm here talking with Stan and Chris, and Chris and I will talk in the car. But Stan, you've just been through a sponsor audit, so what's been going on there? How do you handle a sponsor audit?
Breathe.
Breathe.
Breathe heavy.
Don't stop breathing.
Don't stop breathing. Breathe a lot. Have qualified people around you. Make sure you've got a good QA person around you. Make sure you've got all your dots dotted, your T's crossed, your I's dotted, I guess. You got to make sure you have your team, and just start reviewing from the time that you've consented the patient all the way through, making sure that everything that you were done and part of your SOPs are followed. A lot of times your SOPs that you've laid out, which is what the auditor will look, aren't being followed internally. So I think that's where you first want to start, is follow your SOPs. Review your SOPs, and then make sure you're following them. You can clearly check to see if what you haven't followed and start fixing. If it's things that have already been violated in the study, make sure that you identify those and make sure you have an action plan in place. A lot of times auditors are asking, what have you done to correct it? What type of trainings have you had? How involved is the PI? PI oversight is, I can tell you right now, is extremely important.
Was your PI, did you make sure your PI was there?
Yeah, our PI is heavily involved, always on top of it. So for us, that was good, but it could easily go where the PI didn't oversee a few things, and auditor will catch it, and they're really trying to prep you up for an FDA audit, make sure that you're ready. So you'll have findings. You want to try to minimize those from crucial and to very minimal findings, but I think where you start is your SOPs, and make sure you have a good QA person on board that can be dedicated to reviewing you.
All right, thank you. And I'll add that you should probably ask why you're getting audited. Ask your monitor, because they're usually wanting to find out, and sometimes they know why, and then you can focus on those things. But if they don't tell you why,
they'll give you a list. So they'll send you a letter. It'll tell you exactly what they're auditing you for. Okay. And so that's what you start off with. So when you get the list from the auditor, the monitor is being audited too. So I can tell you that the monitor is just as of a partner in this audit as you are.
They're just as concerned.
And just as concerned, absolutely. Yeah. The concern is fairly high. They do come out, they fly out, they ask. Our monitors were heavily involved, and that's the best thing I can tell you, is make sure that and they will come out and prep you up as well. So whatever that you're doing, make sure your monitor comes out and has another set of eyes on it, and then I think that'll prep you up as best as you can. And they'll still find stuff, but that'll prep you up.
Just to add some more context to the sponsor audit, so basically I guess they want like a roadmap, what to expect, what you should be doing during the audit. I think Stan summarized it well and gave great advice, but is there anything else you want to add to that, Chris? Like, this person's about to get a sponsor audit and they're a little bit nervous. It's their first one.
What I would add is I don't think it's all that big of a deal, personally.
Right.
Now, of course, you want to come off looking good to the sponsor, so hopefully you've done everything relatively correct. Hopefully there's no major findings by the sponsor. Hopefully you catch those. But as Stan had previously mentioned, both of you are getting audited. And when I say both, I mean the site and your CRA for your site. So your CRA wants to come off looking good too. So hopefully they've caught everything they need to catch. So it's not usually that big of a deal. And
use your CRA as an ally if it's not too late. Like, they should be just as concerned as you are, because like Stan and Chris mentioned, they're getting audited as well. Try to figure out, and one of the biggest findings in sponsor audits and FDA audits is sites not following their own SOPs. So take a look through your own SOP and make sure you're following it.
Yeah, yep. And regulatory is all in order. Consent processes, because usually these things are audited 100%, right? The consent process, regulatory, those things are audited 100%, and then only like 10% of the patient binders are audited. So you want to make sure that those two things that are audited 100% are done correctly in all binders.
Right, and you never know which one they're gonna audit, so you just got to do all of it. But another thing I would add, you can never have too much training. So for any deviations, you should have done a training for that particular deviation. Also, anything that needs clarification or further explanation on the site's part, anything that was out of the ordinary, there should be a note to file there. And again, you can't have enough training. Make sure you at least are up to date with protocol amendment trainings, but also any protocol deviations that you may have incurred up until the audit. So thank you very much. Good luck. Let me know how it goes.
And one more thing.
Add one more.
So every sponsor audit I've been a part of, I've had conversations with the CRA for that audit, and they let you know if there's anything you need to look at or fix, or if there's anything you should be concerned about. And hopefully you've had that conversation with your CRA. As I said, in my experience, I've always had that conversation. So you shouldn't be concerned. Your CRA, if they're worth anything and have done their job, you should be fine.
Thank you. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.